and welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about Percy Jackson the movie versus the TV show. We will be using a hero's journey format, and for today's video we will be doing specifically Act 1 of the hero's journey. Let's get started. So, for Act 1 is the original world. This is where we see the life of our hero before he gets swept up onto this adventure of a lifetime. Now, for this section of a hero's journey, the movie and the TV show actually do follow each other quite closely. Both of them show a Percy Jackson in our ordinary world, and then we see glimmers of Percy Jackson seeing beyond the mist. The mist, of course, being the layer between the reality that us mere mortals see and the reality of the gods, specifically Greek gods. Now, they do differ in the execution of the original world. In the movie, Percy Jackson is a teenager in high school. He is living his normal life, and then we do see that when he goes to the Greek museum, he is able to read Greek due to his dyslexia. We start seeing hints that possibly he is a bit different than us mere mortals. Now, it does kind of insinuate that this is a more recent thing. This is due to the fact that he goes to this Greek museum, and that prior to this he had lived a more basic, normal life. Unlike in the TV show, where Percy Jackson does indeed show from such a young age that he is constantly seeing beyond the veil of the mist, and he believes that it is just a vivid imagination of things that are beyond the scope of what we consider reality, and that they are in any way, shape, or form just imaginations of a childlike boy. We see the difficulties, we see how this has affected and isolated him as a person, and it isn't, of course, until he meets his friend Grover that he even feels like he is not insane. So it is a very interesting perspective of how to do the original world in both mediums. For Act 2, the call to action. Again, the call to action to both the movie and the TV show of Percy Jackson is very, very similar. It is the attack from Mrs. Dot, Percy Jackson's teacher in his school, who is actually a Fury, attacking him during his school trip. Now, in the movie, he is separated from his classmates and then has to face off against his teacher in full Fury motion. And then after this happens, he is vindicated in this idea that he did not just lose his mind, that he is in fact seeing a Fury or a monster of some kind by his professor. His professor, of course, shows himself not in his full glory, but still shows that Percy is not insane and that Grover needs to get him to safety, propelling him to, of course, his journey. However, in the TV show, it is a slightly different. Percy Jackson is attacked in clear view of his classmates. Everyone around him is able to not see that he is being attacked, even though he is. It feeds into the idea that he has an extreme, vivid imagination, and he may be losing his mind. It does not help that he does not get validated by anybody, and when he states that Mrs. Dots attacked him, everyone's response is, "Who's Mrs. Dots? No, that person doesn't exist." And then he is slowly sent on his way home, just as if it was any other day and he didn't just get attacked by a monster. So different ways of how this story progresses in both mediums. For Act 3, the refusal of the call. So this again is very similar in both adaptations, both the movie and the TV show. Even though Percy Jackson is given actual proof by literally being attacked by monsters, he still refuses the fact that the mythical world of the Greek gods exists, that he is any different than any other person on Earth, and that he is not being attacked by monsters, and that his mom did not fall in love with a god. That it just has to be an imagination, it just has to be in his head, even though he's literally being actively attacked by said monsters. You know, denial is real and not just a river in Egypt. So either way, both of these mediums actually do this very similarly. They both have their mom taking them to a new location. The movie does have the mom go directly to Camp Half-Blood, and the mom in the TV show taking Percy to their lake house that they visited many times before, and then necessarily having to then go to Camp Half-Blood. It just extends the journey of the refusal of the call in the TV show rather than the movie, and that has more to do with timing than like any difference that they actually do. I do like that in the TV show, though, they do keep it more authentic to the craziness that is Percy Jackson, where the manatees is wearing underwear. But, you know, I understand that the movie did a more grown-up version of Percy Jackson, and so that was their interpretation. But for this refusal of the call, it is very extremely similar in the way that they chose to do this. Act 4, meeting the mentor. Now, you can consider Grover as a mentor-like figure, but he doesn't take on the traditional sense of mentorship. That is still done by Chiron. Chiron is still the mentor-like figure, the Obi-Wan to Percy Jackson's Luke. Chiron is the epitome of a mentor. He guides Percy, he talks to him about the world, he talks to him about his responsibilities now in this new journey and quest he must go on. It is a more traditional mentor type relationship, even though we have seen Killian earlier in both of these mediums, both the movie and the TV show. It isn't until he meets them in Camp Half-Blood that he is propelled to see him as a mentor, because he is, of course, a centaur, and seeing him all in his glory is definitely a different perspective. Alright guys, that is our conclusion of A Hero's Journey Act 1. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're liking this type of content. Hit that notification bell to keep updated on the hero's journey for Percy Jackson. We will be doing part 2 and part 3 later on, so get that notification when it comes out. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.